So remember we told you that China started buying Saudi oil in their own denomination. I think it was pronounced yuan. Now that's from March of last year. And it's going to accelerate the death of the petrodollar. Now I don't want to explain to you what that is again, but I will. All right, here we go. So Saudi Arabia won't sell oil. If you want to buy oil from Saudi Arabia, you have to convert your currency into U.S. dollars. And what that does is then everybody in the world has to have U.S. dollars on hand in case they have to buy oil. And that props up our U.S. dollar. That's why our U.S. dollar is the reserve currency of the world. Why does Saudi Arabia do that? Because we promise them the use of our military if they do that. And that's why we're helping commit a genocide in Yemen. So that's what the petrodollar is, right? And so now, because Joe Biden and the NATO are antagonizing everybody else in the world, not only Russia, not only China, not only Venezuela, not only places like that, but also all of Europe is getting pretty sick of our shit also, because they're the one paying the price for us blowing up Nord Stream pipeline and killing their economy. So right now, Saudi Arabia starting to sell oil in... Is that yuan? Is that how you say it? Which is bad news for American economy.
Well, that's why we can just print money like assholes because
of this.
Yeah.
So Russia says China will start paying for gas in rubles and yuan. That's September 6th. Hang on. Saudi Arabia is set to join anti-Western bloc with China and Russia.
Wait, we helped them commit that genocide.
March 29th, I know. Hey, we helped you commit a genocide in Yemen. Why aren't you our friends? The kingdom's cabinet seeks full membership of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization as the U.S. disengages with the Middle East. What? You want to see? That's Putin, and that's the guy running Saudi Arabia. They seem pretty chummy. I wish they would show Trudeau sit next to him. Remember when that happened? Now what's going on? Iran and Saudi Arabia will normalize ties under agreement brokered by China. Saudi Arabia and Syria close to resuming ties in a Russia brokered talks. So China and Russia are now the leaders in the Middle East. And what are they doing? Are they bombing? No, they're bringing peace. You don't think the world sees that? The world sees that. You know, the number one country that the world fears every time they do this survey? The United States. Why? Because we're blowing up the goddamn whole world. That's why. We did Iraq. We did Syria. We did Libya. Did Afghanistan for 20 years. We're now doing Ukraine, doing Yemen, doing Somalia, Ethiopia, the Sudan. That's what we're doing.
Not to mention the countries we screw up, like, for example, Libya. I didn't know we screwed up like 4 other countries around Libya because of that, because of killing him.
Yeah.
It destabilized
the whole region. Yeah. And so now China and Brazil have reached a deal to trade in their own currencies, ditching the U.S. dollar as an intermediary. So now all other countries used to trade using U.S. dollars, because everybody had to have them to buy oil, so it just was more convenient for everybody. But now, because the United States are such such maniacs, how about that?
Hegemaniacs?
Such imperialistic maniacs. This is what they said Trump was going to do. Trump was going to make the rest of their countries, even our allies, hate us and work against us. That's exactly what's happening now. There are new economic power centers joining to oppose us. This is what they said Trump was going to do.
Which is more effective than bombing, by the way.
Yes.
It works for us, all that currency manipulation.
China and Brazil have reached a deal to trade in their own. And you know how people try to make it sound bad that China's doing their Belt and Road Initiative?
Mm-hmm. Oh, in Africa? Yeah, how terrible that is.
Why don't they just bomb them? Why would they give them money for stuff?
They're just doing the thing we do with the IMF, those monsters.
China and Brazil have reached a deal to trade in their own currencies, ditching the U.S. dollar. The expectation is that this will reduce costs, promote even greater bilateral trade, and facilitate investment. China is Brazil's biggest trading partner, with a record $150.5 billion in bilateral trade last year. Really? Today, as well, Saudi Arabia has joined a China-led security bloc. A China-led security bloc. That's the end of it. And trade alliance with China, Russia, India, Pakistan, and others. Saudi Arabia's cabinet on Tuesday approved a memorandum awarding Riyadh the status of dialogue partner in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The SCO is a political security and trade alliance that lists China, Russia, India, Pakistan, and 4 other Central Asian nations as members. Beijing is Riyadh's largest trading partner, with bilateral trade worth $87.3 billion in 2021. Okay. And I think it's safe and impartial to say at this point that Biden and his team are being significantly outmaneuvered in their foreign policy. Boy, is that the understatement of the year so far.
So we got Russia right where we want them.
Their economy is stronger than ever. Their influence in the world is greater than ever. We're seen as the terrorists, and they're seen as the peacemakers. Holy shit. This is, again, if every nightmare you had about Trump's foreign policy were to come true, it would be now. Except it's all being done by Biden and the neocons running his administration.
And also Biden did most of the Trump things.
Of course.
None of the, like, any of the good ones, any of them promised. All the stuff that you said you hated and more.
Go to jimmydore.com to see my new stand-up special, COVID Lies Are Funny. For only $10, you get to become a premium member, too. And come see us do our live shows. We're going to be doing stand-up comedy in Milwaukee, Nashville, Honolulu, Los Angeles, Northampton, Massachusetts, Syracuse, New York, Cohoes, New York, Hartford, Connecticut, Baltimore, Maryland, and more. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all those tickets.